everybody, it's Rebo, Pray with Interactive Scrapbooking. So today I want to show you how to make the page protector for the circle pages. I've always done it where I literally just take the page protector and go around and trace with a pencil, which is all nice and wobbly, and then I use my heat tool and go around, which is wobbly, and it doesn't come out terrible, but it doesn't come out great. So I've actually found a much better way to make it much easier to explain and for you to be able to follow. So start with, I use the We Are Memory Keepers Post Page Protectors. This one, I use it because it has this extra space here. That's the piece that we are gonna need. So we're gonna cut to the left of the second perforation, and we're just going to set that aside for later. And now, bring that over here. So I went to Michael's. This is what I've come up with. It is a 14-inch hoop. It was in the wreath making section. I think I got it for my coupon like $3.20 or something. And then my husband cut it with the vice grips right along the seam where it was welded, and then I just sanded it down with sandpaper so I don't cut myself. So it's 14-inch, and the way that we are gonna do this, let's take off the bad page protector, is put your page protector over your page like so. So I'm just lining up basically along the top edge, just getting it more square. And we need to adjust this because it is 14 inches. That'll make it too big. We're going to squeeze it down and make it fit. And to do that, I'm going to use some duct tape. And there you are. Love that noise. It's just a satisfying noise to me. And we're just gonna take that, set that to the side. And I'm gonna squeeze this. So I'm just squeezing it like this to get it to line up so that it's following the top half. It doesn't matter about the bottom. It's just the top half that I care about. So I'm just trying to get that tight enough so that it is following those edges. And that right there looks really good. So I'm holding it nice and tight, and then I'm taking my duct tape, and hopefully, before I completely seal, I want it a little bit tighter. Of course I do, right? Because duct tape is so forgiving. Just pushing a little more through. Yep, that's good. And now I'm just going to wrap it. Real pretty, huh? So you can see it's following right along the top edge. So that makes me very happy. Now we need to do some measuring. So what you want to do is take your circle and flip it. And we need to measure from the seam there to the tippy top of your circle. And so that is 6 1/4 inches, okay? So now I know that from the top of my page protector, I need to go 6 1/4 inches down. So what I'm doing, and this is important, you need to have this like centered and close to you as possible. If you start going like this circle is not perfect. It's a little more ovalish. So if you start turning it this way, you're gonna get not a good circle on all sides. So you want to keep it nice and centered. So I am just getting this lined up so that I'm giving some space on this side, and at the top. I don't need space at the bottom. So if it hangs over, that is no problem whatsoever. So that to me looks pretty good. And now I'm going to take and tape this down. This is just some extra old washi tape that I have. And I'm just going to tape that right to the page protector to keep it in place. And you went way over. What did you do? There you go. That's better. And we're going to give it one more, a little higher up here. Oops, I moved it over again a little bit. Keeps wanting to go to that side. Okay, that looks good. All right. So again, I have space on either sides. It's not overlapping the perforation, and I have space at the top. So 6 1/4 inches from the tippy top. So I am measuring from the top edge of my circle down. I'm using a pencil down, and I'm at 6 1/4 inches, and I'm just making a mark so that I can see it. So I can see it's just a little dent. So now I'm coming over to this side, and I want to make sure. Okay, so actually, okay, that's what's important. Sorry. So then you're taking the dot, go underneath this, and now measure from the top edge of the page protector. And you can see I'm one line over 6 1/2. Okay, so now you can take your ruler again, come over to your edge, and now you're going to make a mark at 1 line past 6 1/2. And I'm sure there's a lovely scientific name for that my husband knows, but I don't. For me, it's the 1 line past 6 1/2. So doing the same thing on this side. And I'm pressing pretty hard because I'm going to use my scissors. I'm going to be welding. I'm never going to see this part. That part's not going to exist when I'm done. So I'm going to make sure I really see that. Okay, and then I just had that one for reference. All right, so I used to use the We Are Fuse tool. I don't know if mine is defective or what, but it loves to shut off on me, which is not nice. So I switched over to using my father-in-law. When he passed away, we inherited a lot of his tools. I got his welding tool, so I've been using that. So now, oh, I have a flower. That's funny. So now, this does not start getting hot until I pull the trigger. So we're just gonna let that heat up for just a second. And see, I'm going right where I made that lovely little dent right there. And I'm just going to start going around nice and slowly because, again, this isn't as hot as I would like. It's making a lovely burning smell. And I'm going to start again because I know that didn't weld properly. And I don't want to get double lines. So you just want to go down nice and slow. Don't tuck it under. And this is not getting terribly hot, but you might want to wear some protection on your hands. Or I'm going to keep this little guy here to make sure I don't burn my little fingers. I'm not always great about safety first. Like, go, get it done. So it's going around. That feels like it's going right through. That's nice. That's what we like to have happen. And I'm going to make sure I'm not bending my page protector here. That went right through. Yay! You like when it goes through. Normally I'm like, oh my god, no! You're like, yes, when this happens. So going down to, I'm watching for my dent. Down to my dent, and I'm done. So now, I'm just going to go over it one more time. Coming on back, starting at the beginning. I think it does take a lot of pressure to get this this trigger pushed, and it does irritate my finger. It's going much faster. It's like going through butter now. Almost there. There we go. All right. let's see if that worked entirely. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. Love it. All right, so now I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut straight across where my dent is and where my fuse is. Don't cut into your fuse. That will make you very sad. Don't do that. Apparently these are my duller scissors, of course. There we go. We're just going to get a little smarter on this side. Let's use this. Okay. There. And now we can unhook this. Unhook that. Set those aside. I love to reuse this stuff. I hate just throwing it away. Oh, look at that. That looks so nice and professional. Occasionally you do have to give it some trims. They can get, it's kind of like hot glue where it gets little stringies on it. So I'm just going to check for those. Yeah, that looks good. Little one there. Little trim. Not bad. Oh yeah, over here you've got some crunchies. Let's just get rid of you. That's where I was going back and forth before it was too hot. But you just want to make sure you're not cutting off your fuse. Otherwise, you just defeated your whole purpose. So that looks pretty good. All right, so now we're going to test it. And again, this doesn't get hot unless I'm pulling the trigger, so I'm not worried about touching that. And let's see. That's looking really nice. All right, so this is sealed at the bottom, so I'm just going to take my cutter and I'm just trimming off the very, very edge of this. I could use an X-Acto knife to cut it open, but I don't need it. So there, that's now open. And now I'm going to just take and cut up the sides. So just go right on up. It does not need to be perfect because you're going to be cutting this bottom half into a circle as well. I'm just going to flip it over because that's easier for me. Right up the side. Make sure you just don't cut into your fuse. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and test it out. I can see those little hairs are sticking. All right, so I'm just putting this over my page like I would once it's all done, and that looks pretty good. I just need to cut it. So now, I was just making sure that it is fitting all the way down and it looks really good. So I'm going to cut this from the back because I'm happy with it. Is this one long enough? You're just a little fat. Let's use a bigger one. Okay. So I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife and I'm just gonna cut the back side straight across. Hold still. I'm just cutting across those fuse lines so that I have a half moon shape. So I don't need that. And let's just test this again, see how it looks now. Oh, you're going right into the sticker. There you go. Oh, it always catches on that one little sticker. It's a stinky sticker. Ha ha ha. Oh, and you're catching on the edge of that paper. There. Oh, that looks so good. I think that's one of the best ones I've done. Yay! So you can do a couple different things for the bottom half. You can do my old method. You can take your pencil and trace it and then cut it, do a fussy cut. You can take your little hula hoop here and you could use this and go along that with a knife. Or you can attempt, if you have it, to use your Creative Memories cutter. To do that, what you'd want to do, and I'm using my Creative Memories cutter because that is how I cut this circle, so I know my blue line is good. So I am, if you are not familiar with this, I'll explain. I'm sure most of you are. But the Creative Memories, there's a red, green, and blue tool. That's how the blades are spaced on here. So we're going to put you at the bottom, then you, then you. So now, what I'm doing is getting this on my little cutting mat. This is a self-healing mat. And I'm lining up my circle cutter, making sure that it's even around the edges. So the black line that's in the middle is how you line up your cutter. And so what I'm doing is I'm making sure that the outer edge of my page protector is in line with my blue line, because that's what I'm going to cut the bottom half of this with. So let's just take a look here. And that is looking pretty darn good. All right, I'm happy with that. Look at that. And just carefully turning it around. So now, and it doesn't need to line up perfectly with that very edge. We're gonna make it work. Don't you fret. So I'm just going up here, and I'm gonna make sure I'm not cutting into my fuse. I'm just gonna do a little. There we go. And now I'm gonna go ahead and cut. So I left a little space between my fuse line and where I started cutting. Okay. And I'm just gonna finish it with the scissors. Oh, apparently I lost some pressure down there. One little thing. Okay, and then I'm finishing this one, meeting my fuse, and that looks really good. So then, come back over here. Oh, you guys are good luck. This came out so good. This is the best one I've ever done, I swear. So there, that is how you do your cover. You now can flip and not worry about any of it. Yes, it can slide off. But I don't usually have problems. I mean, I find they would fall out of the book half the time when I slide them in from the top. I'd tip the book and there goes the pages. So yeah, I feel comfortable with the way that works. So now we've got to make the page to book attachment, which is what this is. So we're gonna come back to that piece that we cut off at the beginning, and we're gonna take just a piece of 12 by 12, or it was 12 by 12 cardstock, and I'm just gonna cut out, we're gonna say 3.5 inches. I used to just do an inch, but 3.5 just feels more secure to me these days. I've not had any issue with the inch, don't get me wrong, but I feel like more is better these days. So what I want to do is use my little cheater friend. This is one I cut too short a while ago, and I just now use it as my cheat sheet. So I'm lining up the we are's. I will have the directions of how far apart you need to space these written in the description. But for me right now, I'm just gonna line up these little guys and make some dots. So now, if I can reach you, apparently I've made a big pile to the side of me here. Okay, so I'm just putting a dot where I'm gonna want to put these other, eyelets. Okay, and now I'm gonna put the paper in between. Little slice. go. So you're going to have a little space at the top and a little space at the bottom. Feel free to measure if that's what makes you happy. I am pretty good at eyeballing, so I'm comfortable with it. I'm using the Big Bite Crop-a-dile. You can use any hole punch that makes you happy. I'm just using the small hole punch to use my silver brads. And you can just use whatever works for you. And just 2 more. Just want to hold that paper nice and tight against it. It likes to squeeze out. And 1 more. Beautiful. All right. Now, oh yeah, I always get tails. I don't know if it's just me, but my Crop-a-diles, they love to leave tails anytime I cut through plastic. I just gotta cut those off. Pardon the delay. Beautiful. Now, I got these brads on Amazon. I just find that they don't split as much as some of them. I don't like when they get all like broken split. I like when they do a nice even split. I don't need this many, but that's okay. These little diamond trays are fantastic, except when you spill them, which will probably happen during this event. But they work so great to just pour things back in after. It's just lovely. All right, and you snuck out. See how sneaky it is? Just make sure your holes are lined up. So just one at a time. I'm making sure the "we are" is on top for the top of the brads. That way it just stays nice and consistent in your books and it looks pretty. So I'm using my pink Crop-a-dile. I'm using the number 3. There's a little tiny number in this bottom left corner and C in that bottom left corner. And now I'm going to give it a nice squeeze. Not on the finger. Don't do that. And next I should turn you this way. There we go. That's more logical. There you go. Yeah, see, they're split. They split so nice. Just makes me happy. 3 more to go. 3 more. Oh, and I use the We Are Memory Makers, Memory Keepers, sorry. Their glass cutting mat for welding. I use that mainly because of the grid lines. So when I'm doing one that's not a circle, I need the lines all the time to make sure I stay level. I haven't really found anybody else that makes one, but feel free to use whatever suits your fancy. But that works well for me. There. So this is the page to book attacher. That's what I named it. So then you would take, I'm not ready to put this in a book, but you would just take and add your glue to this, and then you will butt your edge against that plastic, and that's how you would attach it, just like that. If your paper is very thin, I recommend using some sort of really thick, heavy paper or chipboard. This is a 96-pound paper. I got this specifically for giving my pages support. It's a very, very thick, heavy cardstock. I got this at Joann Fabric. I just haven't found anything in our regular cardstock section, so this was in, I think, the either the drawing or the painting section. But I just cut 12 by 12 sheets out of that, and then that gives, if you had, this isn't too thin, but if you have that like really thin, let's see, like this stuff, really thin paper, you're gonna want to support it with some thicker paper. So then you would attach your other page to this side, and then it would be good to go into your book, just like that. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.